Welcome down the rabbit hole, friends. Happy day after Thanksgiving. It's Black Friday and I am not going out shopping, but we are eating a lot of leftovers. Okay, can you tell me again what you want for lunch so I can get a list?
Mashed potatoes, turkey, sandwich, and waffles.
Okay, all that? You're gonna eat all of it? All right, got it. Well, it's true. He ate all of that and more. Now let me share a little happy holidays from the Sisterwives themselves.
I hope everybody enjoys their Thanksgiving.
Wow, I've truly never seen anyone look more like the "Here's Johnny" guy from The Shining than Kody Brown in that clip. Okay, we've got some amazing footage to look at from the sneak peek, which is going to come out as probably another like crazy 4-part episode going on and on. But before that, I want to say that Janelle and Christine went on this like string of interviews a couple of days ago, and Christine, they both looked magnificent. Go back and watch my prior video if you want to take a look at it. Christine looks like she's never looked before. I do wonder if there's maybe some like Botox and some other things mixed in there, but whatever, she looks amazing. There's not like a sign of stress or unhappiness. She is radiating from within. She's glowing and she looks so happy. Meanwhile, as we're about to see in the sneak peek, Robyn is over there like, what even happened? How did this happen? And why am I living like this now? I really think that, of course, a lot of these tears and frustrations are put on for the camera, but I would imagine that once Robyn really has to live all alone with Kody, it's going to be kind of hard living with the guy that basically played Here's Johnny from The Shining. Oh my God, a thought just occurred to me. Like, what if that's really what's going to happen on Coyote Pass? Like, Cody's going to lose his mind from the isolation of living with Robyn, and they'll have like a repeat of The Shining. Oh goodness. That would make for great TV, I guess. Anyway, here's Robyn.
Work it out with her. Go talk to her. And it's weird to me because I kept saying, you guys have how many years together? You have 6 kids.
Yeah, 30 years.
Okay, so this is a scene from the sneak peek in which Robyn is like putting out there once again for all of us to know that like she didn't want them to get divorced. Like she wanted him to work things out with Janelle and Christine. They have so many kids together and so many years together. And she told him, go and work it out. And I honestly believe that she did, because guys, she has a lot to worry about up and coming with Kody. Like, if he's willing to leave, ditch, throw in the garbage these women who really have worked hard to give him the life that he's even able to have with Robyn now, then he doesn't have a heart. He doesn't have a soul. And it would not surprise me if he's very willing to do this to Robyn and her kids when they get older, when she gets older, when she's no longer, new and fun and shiny. And we've talked about this before, but I will say it again. The reason why life is so wonderful and perfect and loving with Robyn is because right after he met Robyn, he came into a shitload of money from the show primarily. But then after that, all of the wives started making more income from MLMs and whatever else they were doing, giving interviews, that kind of stuff. Weddings got paid for their kids. Things got paid for their kids by the show. So they started living a much less stressed out lifestyle. And that's all Kody has ever known with Robyn. She's never had to lift a finger. So of course their lives have been better, right? Like, of course that's been the case. I'm sure she also had a lot more time and was less stressed out and able to be there more for him on the backs of his other wives. So Robyn has a lot to be worried about when it comes to whether or not he'll stick around if times ever get tough.
Yeah, that's worth looking at. I said that to him over and over. Sorry.
Yeah, I just really don't feel like things look too good for Robyn in this scenario. If anything ever gets a little bit hard or a little bit tough in her relationship with Cody, if they go through hard times or they don't have, now they have a lot of money. Let's be honest. People are always like, they're never going to make it. Like they owe some money here and there. They can just sell that mansion and they'll have plenty of money. Now I do sort of hope Janelle, Christine, and Mary like rake them over the coals and get as much money as they can out of them. But I think that Cody and Robyn are going to be okay. Now, will they be okay enough to live the lifestyle they really want with lots of diamonds and shiny things and gingerbread houses everywhere? Maybe not. And that could be like really hard on Cody.
That's worth looking at.
Yeah, and I hope that Robyn is looking at it really closely because a lot of kids got screwed over by what Cody has decided to do. And it all has to do with Robyn, whether she wants to admit it or not. She is the cause of these kids no longer having their father in their lives the way that they used to, or having him as a grandfather for their children. She is the cause of that. And she should look at it more closely and take on the responsibility that we all know she really does carry for the destruction of this family. I mean, even if you like Robyn, you cannot deny that that's sort of how things have gone down. And even though I believe that so much, condemnation belongs to Cody, I mean, Robyn does have to take responsibility for what's going on here.
That's worth fighting for. I'm like, why can't you just go talk and see if there's something worth fighting for? That's a long time. That's a lot of kids.
Okay, this is where people are saying that Robyn goes on this tell-all, like showing off her amazing ring. And people are claiming that it looks a lot like Christine's new ring from her new husband, David Woolley. I don't think that they look alike, but I do think Robyn is trying to rub it in everyone's face that she's got this big, gorgeous ring. There's no way. I mean, I know for me, I have one really nice ring that my husband, it's my engagement ring, but I don't wear it all the time because it is like, maybe because I was a nurse and like it is large and cumbersome to me, and like I'm highly aware of when I am wearing it. Okay. It's not the traditional ring. It's bigger. Like it just is something that I would always know when I have it on. I would always know like if I'm putting my hand near my face that like it was there because I'm highly aware of it. And I feel like Robyn is very aware of what's going on here and she wants everyone to know and see, but also like poor me with that ring on her hand. I think it's a sign, like I really think she's sending a message to Christine and Janelle, like, look at this, guys. I mean, what a bitch. What a terrible way to be. And sometimes I just think that's just Robyn.
And to just toss it to the side, I said, that's one fight.
What were you saying at this point?
Go work it out with her. Go talk to her.
Yep, it is so sad. It's really sad, Robyn. And when Cody's kids come back and they're not happy with you and they're sad with Cody, like you can't blame them. This family has fallen apart. It's exploded. There are a bunch of broken pieces left all around you and you're not helping to put them back together. Certainly not trying to help anyone out at this point. So I think Robyn's tears are just too little too late and they're non-existent. There's just really no, in my opinion, sympathy to be had for her at this point in time. She is the one who could definitely be holding, Cody responsible, like holding him accountable and saying like, I'm not going to be with you. I'm not going to spend time with you if you're not being with your kids, if you're not treating your other wives appropriately. Like, I'm not going to be a good wife to you if you're not making the relationships work with the people who you made commitments to before I ever entered into this union. Okay, but things with Robyn, they just aren't changing. Let's go ahead and take a listen to the ridiculously obnoxious way that Cody starts out his interview in the sneak peek. What an asshole.
And I get married again to Janelle and I get married again to Christine. And I look back and because I was so anxious to be living the principle of plural marriage,
Cody is basically going to make a bunch of bullshit statements about how he didn't really like these women. He didn't care about them. He wasn't in love with them, didn't want anything to do with them. He only was with them because of the religion. So, F you, Mary, Janelle, Christine.
That I was not vetting who I was marrying to be compatible with me. The blame lays on one thing and one thing only. If you're going to marry and you're going to marry for eternity, you should start out in love.
Okay, we need to think about this. No one ever brings this up. Okay, let's say Cody's like, look, Mary wasn't my soulmate. I shouldn't have married her. Like, I needed to marry Robyn. Okay, Cody. So, like, by your whole, like, religious standards, you were 20-something years old. You weren't supposed to be having sex. So you're waiting around. You got to marry someone so that you can finally have sex, right? If you would have tried to marry Robyn when you were 20, how old would she have been? How old would your soulmate have been when you were 20, right? Wouldn't she have been like 10 years old, Cody? I mean, is that your soulmate? That you have to have someone like so significantly younger than you? Is that why you guys get along so well? Because you can be a little bit more in charge? Is that who you should have married when you were 20, Cody? Like, there's just something about it that's so off to me. Saying that all these women were just throwaways. You should never have gotten involved with them. But you know who you really needed was that 10-year-old girl who, you could really control and take command of there, Cody. It's ridiculous.
I thought it was acceptable. I thought I could make up the difference. I thought everything in this situation with all three wives, this isn't about being...
It just like, it goes like this, Suki. I used to think like I could deal with someone my own age, but it's just only took 20 years for me to realize like I cannot, like I need to have someone at least 10 years younger than me, if not more, like closer to the age of my daughters, Suki, in order for me to really truly feel like appreciated and loved and like in control. You know what I mean? Like I need someone who, has more energy and is going to be there for me to like bathe me when I'm confined to a wheelchair. You get what I'm saying?
Like in love. This is about growing a family together. We love each other. We're required. The gospel requires us to love each other. But I never really actually suffered in a fit of passion.
Yeah, so I mean, basically Cody's saying like, I wasn't in love with these women. I wasn't attracted to them. They're not good enough for me. Now that I have Robyn, I see what true love is. It's really sad and it's disgusting. Even if he felt this way, it doesn't need to be said on national television. Unless, of course, he's really doing this to assuage his own ego. Right? Like if he actually cared about these women and he really felt this way, then he wouldn't say it. He might feel it on the inside, but he would leave it alone. He's putting it out there because he wants to be like, I'm too good for them. Look at me. I'm just look like the guy from The Shining and I'm amazing.
In this place.
How do you feel you started out with Robyn then? Was it different?
Yeah, it was.
Were you different?
Well, I fell in love with Robyn. I never fell in love with anybody else. I was just choosing to be in that covenant.
Okay, now let's hear what Janelle, the voice of all reason, has to say about Cody pretending like he never had one true good day of life in his whole entire existence until Robyn came along.
Was it just spiritual witness, or were you in love with him when you got married to him?
I was in love with the idea of him. We really did start to know each other better after we were married. I do think I loved him as much as I could.
Okay, Janelle's going to go on to say, like, she does feel they were in love. There were times when it was much harder, and there were times when she didn't feel in love with him, but it was kind of like an up and down. I don't know. It just seems much more realistic from Janelle. Like, no, it wasn't perfect, and there was a lot going on, but I did love him. We were in love in some way, shape, or form. That makes more sense to me. And she does say, like, kind of from my side of the boat, I guess, which is so sad that she has to feel like, I guess I don't know Cody anymore. Really sad. And here's what else she has to say.
And we became much more in love as the years went by, I think. Mm-hmm. Maybe he does have more affinity or more connection with Robyn, and that's okay. But I think it's unfair to judge our early years with that same perspective, because he was not the guy back then he is now.
I don't know. When it comes to me, like, I just really feel like Janelle is truly a queen who errs on the side of just like reality, like real life, right? Like, no, it wasn't perfect, but it was pretty good. There were a lot of good times. We had amazing kids together. And for him to backtrack and act like it was nothing is pretty much BS. And when you look at, and this is what Janelle is saying, when you look at Robyn and Cody's relationship, like, look at all they've had. Look at how they haven't really been living in the real world, in reality. All the money, all the help, all the fame, all the fortune. Like, their circumstances are just different than it was for any of us. And that's the reality of why Cody loves it so much, you know? That's the truth. So I can't wait to see more of this sneak peek. My favorite part of Thanksgiving, making green bean casserole. Does God have a what?
Does God ever cry?
Does God ever cry? Yeah, I think he cries when people get hurt. He doesn't want people to be. Okay, so my husband came home for like 24 hours and left me this huge ball of real, garland. There's just so much to do. It's a mess. This is my real life. It's a total mess. Now I gotta figure out how to get this around here.